Joining me today is New Hampshire Representative Frank Edelblut, who's running for the governor's office. So, Frank, let's continue the conversation.
Great.
Economic issues.
Yeah.
Right. You know, we're talking about that's sort of one of the big challenges that you're focused on is creating a job, an environment for jobs.
Right.
What specific policies should the governor, should you be the governor, would you try to incorporate?
Right. So believe it or not, I think we have a lot of the right raw materials in the state in order to do a better job in terms of economic development, and we really need to connect up the dots. So I mean, there's some obvious things in terms of tax policy. We have the highest business taxes of all of the states of New England. So if you're looking for a place to settle your business, you look around and you say like, gee, I can have a tax rate that's 3 points less in Massachusetts. Do I really want to be in New Hampshire if I have a higher tax rate? You know, so that's an example, but those are the kinds of things you see all the time, and it's not really capitalizing on the resources we have. We've got a great advanced manufacturing capability in the state with some companies that are good companies that are functioning and they're doing a great job in the state. We also have a community college system in the state that is functioning really well, and they've got some advanced manufacturing programs, you know, that are really teaching kids 21st century techniques in terms of manufacturing.
And those advanced manufacturing, these are good, well-paying jobs.
These are great. The kids who are coming out of these programs, as I'm told, are getting 1 or 2 offers at least, 45 to 65,000 starting salaries sometimes coming out of these positions. So these are good, 21st century manufacturing, the kind of salaries and kind of career opportunities that you can raise a family on coming out of the community college system. And then the last piece that I want to kind of connect up is really in our high schools. And what we really need to do is look at that high school program and how we're bringing the kids through. The point is not to spend 4 years in high school. The point is to acquire some skills so that you can graduate and you can engage in the economy. Whether it's going on to college or going on to a community college system, or what we can do is for a lot of these kids, we can pull some of this advanced manufacturing stuff at the community college system into the high school. So if you're capable and you're able to finish your high school requirements in 3 years or 3.5 years, you may find that you can add an advanced manufacturing certificate before you even get to high school, so you can then walk into one of these jobs coming out of high school. And the thing is that even if you decide that you want to do that, maybe you're in high school and you study some advanced manufacturing, you say, I really like this, I want to go on and study engineering. You haven't lost ground, you've actually gained ground, because all of this community college work that you've done in high school, you just transfer onto school and onto college, and you get to take it forward with you. So what we really do then is we're kind of opening up opportunities for these kids. I actually have a program that I'm working on right now. Part of my run for governor is, typical politician, you say like, if you elect me, then I will do this or that. I'm saying like, kind of screw that. I'm just going to do things. And so if you like what I'm doing, then come along with me. Yeah, exactly. You'll know what's important to me. But it's trying to work with 10th and 11th graders in the high schools right now. And I made arrangements with various manufacturing companies in the state, and we're taking these kids on field trips to companies. And so they get to kind of go through the company and see, here's what one of these advanced manufacturing jobs looks like. So then it gives them a vision, because right now the vision that they mostly have is, okay, when I graduate from high school, I'm supposed to go on to college. A lot of kids can't afford college. A lot of kids don't have the aptitude for college. That's not really where they need to be. So we have to give everybody a vision for where their future is and some of the things that they can engage in.
And so it's about creating alternatives and opportunity.
It's about opportunity, because again, we have these resources that are going to join the workforce, and we want them to hit their peak potential, really. But see, that it ties in, because we've got these advanced manufacturing companies in the state. They need good, solid, trained workforce in order to stay in the state. And so I think, what we really want to do is we want to make sure that those companies that are in the state today, they feel the love. They know that this state really appreciates the contributions that they're making to our state.
So I want to circle back to the tax issue, but I also want to talk about energy.
Yes.
One of the things that I hear when I talk to business leaders is that the energy costs in this state are troubling.
They are troubling.
So talk to me, is there a role that the government can the New Hampshire state government play in reducing energy costs?
Yeah, there is a role that they can play, but honestly, we're dragging around the legacy of some really bad decisions. We have this thing called stranded cost, which is the result of typically bad strategic decisions. So, as ratepayers, we're paying $700 million for the Seabrook shutdown. We're still carrying that around. We are looking at $450 million for the Bow scrubber, that we're going to all have to pay off. We've got $120 million in the Berlin biomass plant that we're going to have to pay off over the next 20 years. One of the issues right now is we've got a pipeline proposal coming through southern New Hampshire, and the way that the governors and the PUC are looking at this is they're talking about putting the transportation fees on the backs of electric ratepayers. So that's another $720 million, which might make sense if that gas were going to be used for electric generation, but we don't know that it is. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to put electric ratepayers on the hook for, a gas pipeline that may or may not end up in generating electricity. Like suppose it's used for industrial applications or it's shipped overseas. Do we really want the electric ratepayers? So step number one is we got to stop making these really poor strategic decisions. And those are decisions that the governor's office is engaged in. So what we really need to do is we need to do a better job negotiating some of these deals on behalf of the ratepayers of New Hampshire. Beyond that, what we really need to do is we need to bring more energy into the grid. And I say that because it's not just New Hampshire. You realize that we are ISO, it's the region as well. But again, I think our biggest problem that we have right now is we're making some really poor strategic decisions.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. When we return, we're going to continue our conversation switching to social issues. So please stay with us.